Yo, it's AJ Banjo. I'm your host of the Grind and Ghost Podcast, a podcast for artists and creatives to come through and talk openly and freely about all things in the industry and all things creative. Yo, everyone, welcome back to the Grind and Ghost Podcast. I'm your host, AJ Banjo, and today we have an amazing guest, a guy that I've known for a long time. You know, we connected at a networking event, and he was someone that I had a real passion for the music industry, and he was willing to talk to me, who was just there to meet some new people and to kind of explore the music industry. And he connected with me. We talked a lot. We talked about the business. We talked about his journey, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, my people, what's good? My name's Sadiq, aka Sadiq the Honest, or STH. I'm a music producer, music writer, journalist, student of the game, lover. Get me, West London massive. What are you telling me, people?
Big up, big up, big up. First of all, I got to say I'm very appreciative of you coming through.
No worries, bro.
This is something that we've been planning for a long time, and I'm so glad we were able to finally get it done, man. This is big for me anyway.
No, 100%, man. No, I appreciate that. Honestly, like as you said rightly so, of course we met at that networking event. Similar to you, I was there with my boy actually, who's actually interested in. He's like a person where he was vaguely interested in music, but he liked the whole business management side of things. Yeah. So I said, bro, come through. Like I'm always going for these kind of networking events on my ones, just hungry, just kind of meeting people. And of course, I met you. Yeah. Of course, I met Umar, and I was like, yo, I saw there was chemistry, there was genuine love for what you guys were doing, and I was like, yo, let's stay in touch. Exactly. So I'm glad that, of course, it came to this. You know what I'm trying to say? Exactly. About time, man.
And at that event, so that event was the Ultimate Music Seminar. Yeah. And it was kind of designed, and something I want to touch on in this episode, it was designed for young up-and-coming artists, producers, managers, everyone in the music industry that's just starting off. And that's where I kind of want to take lead of this conversation, is the journey and the early stages of the journey. So like you said, you are primarily producer, dabbling in other things, radio and stuff. Yeah. But I want to know, how did you first start getting into this? And what was the beginning steps of you finding that passion for music?
Well, that's okay. Without being long-winded about it, because I could go on forever about that. So
we got time.
So basically, in regards to, so I've always been, maybe that's a cliche, I've always been in love with music. I've always loved that. I'm Kenyan Somali, so growing up, there was a lot of music around me from home. Of course, that sounds, from East African sounds. Of course, my parents were really into like 70s, 80s soul, funk, dance. Of course, like Afrobeats, the Fela Kutis and whatnot. But then it was a thing where so my dad had a vinyl, and I used to kind of like see the whole setup, and I used to wonder like where all these mad sounds coming from this machine, like, or where are these people? Like, I need to go and free them. This is me like 5 years old thinking that there's people stuck in this machine. I'm like, let me try and get them out. Yeah. So I would like be poking at it. I'll be like shoving bottles, like water bottles inside the speakers, the woofers and stuff, and just genuinely curious about sound. I think the love of it comes from sound, and how when I listen to music, like the MTVs or the Channel U's come like later on in life, it was a thing where I was more interested in the whole package, not just the voice behind it. Of course, we know there's the artist, there's the singer, but I was a thing where like, what is all this around it? What's the whole package? Who does the videos? Who makes the production around it? Who makes who styles the artist? How artwork? I was really fascinated by artwork, like, and just how this whole thing was put together. So I think the internet is kind of where that all birthed out. I just started making stuff online. I got my first laptop when I was around pretty late, to be fair, maybe like 16, 17. I got like a breakdown, like a MacBook Air. And GarageBand was there. Yeah. And of course, growing up, I was always really into like the Pharrells, the Timbalands. Of course, in the UK, Maniac was a big grand producer. I used to really admire like Chipmunks and all that kind of stuff. But when I, of course, used to dabble in internet and stuff from young, I've been online for a long time, like music blogs, music forums and stuff like that. I was really into EDM at one point. Yeah. There was blogs like Living Electro, like, like the Dutch house scene, the Hardwells, Nicky Romero's, all that kind of stuff. I was like, yo, I want to do it. I want to make it for myself. Let me try. Let me just kind of mess about with it. Yeah. So I would just kind of go online, go on tutorials. And that's the thing, like with the internet, it's a place, everyone says it, but you can literally find anything and learn anything if you can find interest of it. So I would literally just go online, just type in how to make a snare. I didn't know any terminology or nothing. I have no music training, nothing like that. Just curiosity and hunger. So I would be on my laptop for hours on end, literally just doing that. Yeah. And keeping in mind, I actually moved to Kenya for a few years. So I actually did half of my secondary school there. So I was literally in my laptop, like in the coast of Mombasa, which is like a sunny place, but it's a very like secluded place. And I'll just be on my laptop just making kind of stuff. And then, but yeah, pretty much.
Damn. So you've had obviously a long kind of history when it comes to music and developing that passion.
Yeah.
And you talked about the internet, and that's something like I manage a producer, and I seen that firsthand. You know, starting off going on YouTube, trying to find tutorials, you know, trying to find crack versions of
all of that.
You know,
kick-ass torrents, all of that. Torrents, bro,
exactly. The internet really births
all of
that. You know, creativity and trying to explore your sound.
Absolutely.
But you also talked about like your inspirations from music.
Yeah.
You know, from your parents having that East African sound. And then that developing into EDM.
Yeah.
So how would you say your sound as a producer, as also someone who just likes to listen to music, how your sound has developed? Because I know for me, like, it was my older brother who introduced me to like rap.
Yeah.
I was back in the day interested in like indie pop, alternative type of sounds. And when my older brother came, he introduced me to Kanye, Jay-Z. Right. And then that blew my mind, and that's what I was on. And obviously the UK scene and the UK rap scene started to develop.
Yeah.
But for you, how was that developing a sound and how your taste has changed?
So, to be honest, I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest of five. But so I didn't really have my parents. It was a thing where they liked listening to music, but they weren't really into it. It was just a thing that, you know, like I guess generally how people just consume. It's just in the background at the parties, in the car. So they didn't really take. But I'm a very inquisitive person, so I would hear stuff and I'd be like, who is that, who's playing that, what is that sound? Or even like in general, like even though I'm not really experienced too much in sound engineering and hardware when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, what is that instrument? Or like in the car, my dad's car, like, oh, what is that speaker there, what does that system do? And he'll half the time not know how to respond to that. He's like, what is all this like? But luckily when I got older, of course the internet came. In regards to my sound, so that's a difficult one, because so SoundCloud is a place kind of where I really started making music. And there was a scene back in like maybe the mid to late 2010s, like 2015, 2016, that it was a chill hop scene. So a lot of like YouTubers were using content or music around their videos that's kind of like reminiscent of the J Dillas, the J Princes. I was a big fan of like contemporary R&B back in the day. Of course, the Aaliyahs, the Timbalands, the Missy Elliott's. And then of course in the UK, like, in regards to like the garages, you know what I mean, and how just making soulful music that's also inspired by electronic elements. Because of course, marrying my love of R&B, soul, hip hop, but with electronic music, because that's a lot of things I love as well and mad. Calvin Harris is a big inspiration of mine, music wise, and Daft Punk and all that kind of stuff. But then when I found SoundCloud and I found like the Selection community. Selection's a sound that came out. It's based in LA, but it's basically marrying the sounds of electronic music, R&B, soul, and just pop music. So I guess the good examples would be like Goldlink, Masego, K Tronada, Esther, and of course maybe like in a grime thing, someone like Thundercat, who produces for like Kendrick Lamar, like Jay Prince, of course now Kanye. Like there's a lot of people that kind of make that kind of sound. Of course, Trap Called Quest back in the day, I was really into like house sound as well. So I just loved it because it was a thing where I just come out of having a phase, because I always have phases with sounds. Every few years, I'm really into one particular sound. It's grime. Then it was house. Then it was pop. Then it was a little bit of alternative rap. And then now I'm back on UK rap again. So it's a thing where it's a different cycle. So but yeah, man, SoundCloud and SBTV were the two places that I really honed my sound. So if I were to describe my sound, it would be a mixture of soul, rap, but with the electronic sound to it. That's kind of the basis of it, if I'd say.
You know, like you spoke on how you've kind of found that interest in UK rap side. And I want to pick your brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was at an event with my producer, and it was like this producer battle type event in Box Park.
Okay.
Yeah. And we came into this, we had a bunch of beats that we had, kind of alternative rap type of beats.
Yeah.
And then we were like, boom, this is going to crush. This audience is not ready for it.
Yeah.
And then we see that every producer is dropping drill beats.
Yeah.
Drill beats after the next. And that's what the audience was looking for.
Sure.
And
it's like a beat battle kind of thing.
Yeah. And we were just unprepared for that scene.
Sure.
We came in with some like this different sound.
Yeah.
But I want to pick your brain on, where do you think the UK scene is at right now in terms of like experimentation? Are we in this phase where it's just dominated by one sound? Is drill like at the forefront? Because you speak about like mixing in electronic music, and like I think that's what we need more of in the UK.
It's there,
we need
bro.
Some experimentation.
It's there. I know a lot of people would start saying negative stuff. Honestly, I feel the UK scene as a whole, just music as a whole, is in a great place. A few years ago, there was nothing happening. There were certain people doing certain things that were making moves, but they were not really willing to try stuff. If we're talking about what's being consumed or what's being pushed, I'm a drill lover from core. There was a time when I was really into the heady ones, the RVs, and I admire what they're doing. But I feel like if you want to find music that tailors to you, you can find it. Just type it in. Just go and look for it. And that differentiates, we talked about earlier off air, like the consumer and the producer. So if you're a person who's willing to, you love the music, you love the sound, you're trying to find that essence of something that you really enjoy, you can go and find it online, bro. It's there. So in regards to where the state of UK music is, I feel like there's a lot of stuff happening. For example, like there's a whole bustling R&B is finally being respected in the UK in some sort of way. There's of course the Mahalias, the Jordan Smiths, the Shea Universes. There's a lot of people kind of doing a lot of amazing stuff in that sense. Koji Radicals, and then there's the alternative rap, the Nuxes, the Saints, there's a lot of people doing amazing stuff in that sense. And then you have like the UK rap is I feel like UK rap as a whole, like proper rap, like the Blade Browns, the Youngs Teflons, that's been a thing where it's lasted throughout all of this. It's kind of grown throughout all of this since then. So, but I feel like it's also being respected in the sense that they're marrying other sounds to it. You know what I'm trying to say? But in essence, I feel like rap music or UK music as a whole, it's there, man. Just need to find it, bro.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate your point of view there, because you're right. The UK scene, for me, I remember 2016, 2017. That was when like the rise of like Daves and the J House was coming up. And I remember being so like, honestly, 2017 was one of the best years for music, just in general. I remember even going back to your love for Calvin Harris. When Slide came out.
Bro, that whole Funk Way Flex album, Volume 1. Bro,
that whole album,
summer vibes, bro.
That was summer
And that's
vibes.
what he did. Even him, for example, like, sorry to cut you out, but like Calvin Harris, like the way in which he's a person, maybe it's easier for producers in that sense because they don't have to necessarily be tied to a name. They can kind of experiment more. But he's done everything. He's done the pop. He's done the heavy, that clubby house stuff, which I was not really a fan of, but I admired it. He did then now he switched over and did the whole like funk soulful stuff, like and it shows that, you know, if you love music and a fan of music as a whole, you're willing to try anything, bro. You shouldn't pigeonhole yourself too much.
Facts.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Facts. You know, off air we talked about something and I want to just get back into it because again we met at a networking event. Yeah, man. And we met trying to, well, I'll say from my perspective, trying to level up in the industry, trying to meet new people, make connections. And when we were talking about this, you made a really interesting point, and I kind of wanted to take a deeper dive where you were making a point of networking laterally. And yes, I want you explain what that means and what it means to you and how success you found in that, you know.
So I guess, okay, in general, the way in which I kind of see progression or in life as a whole, going into careers but just in life, is that there's two ways in which people, you know, tend to network or because even the word network in itself sounds kind of like disingenuous. I feel like just to meet people, just to connect, is like there's the lateral flow in the sense that you're meeting and networking with people who are on the come up as well, whether it's like through uni, through school, or for example, if in regards to music, you're meeting people that are working within the spaces, interning or doing certain things, but at your level, in and around your same age group. And then there's the top to bottom one where you're basically trying to network with the people above you or the people that are more older than you. I feel like sometimes it's a thing where because they don't see value in you, which is sad, but let's just be real.
Facts.
You need to, they're not going to really hear you out. And they want to feel like they're getting exchange in value. So if it's a thing where you're only the one going to benefit from the situation, and they don't see the value of mentorship, which I think in itself I think mentorship is an essential thing to have. I would love, God willing, when I've reached a point where I wanted to be in my industry, in that career, I would want to network and to mentor people that I'm my predicament right now, because there's a lot of value in that, you know what I mean, and giving back, because you know that you were once there, let me give back in that, but not everyone sees it that way. So it's important to kind of meet and network with the people in and around your circles, in and around your spaces, in and around your levels, because they're going to be your peers in the future. They're going to be people they're going to work with, hopefully, and if you start blessed and genuine with them from the jump, in the long run, they're going to remember you, bro. They're going to remember you.
Facts. And you touched on something at the end there, which I think is just gems. You know, this podcast, what we want it to be and what I envision it being is a place for people to come who are starting off or in industry in general, and to pick out the gems and pick out you can come in here and leave feeling inspired. And one thing you said, which I hope people who are watching are taking notes on, is the fact of being genuine, being authentic with the people that you're connecting with, because it's all great and that, having, the clout of taking pictures with some industry guy or, but the thing that I think, and there's no monetary value associated with this, but it's going to pay off in the long run, is genuine connections, real connections. 100%. You know what I mean? Being able to, bro, especially when you're starting off, there are so many ideas that you're going to have where the funding might not be there necessarily, where the team might not be there. And that's where them connections come from, because starting a project and being like, yo, I want to work on this, it's something I'm passionate about, here's the idea. And you send that to some people that you've connected with, they're going to be like, bro, I'd love to be a part of it. I'd love to help you. How can I help? I've got this, blah, blah, blah. And no money is exchanged. But what is exchanged is that connection.
Yeah, you planted the seeds.
Exactly. You planted the seeds. I know you. I know that you're a certain guy. I want to help you out on your journey. And, bro, again, there's no monetary value, but the connection is there. And the connection, like you said, is planting seeds. And it will help you out in the long run, because you never know where, anyone's going to be in a few years. Bro. You don't know where you're going to be in a few years.
You want?
Never climb the ladder and chop it down behind you. You know what I mean? Always bring people up. Always.
Yeah, bro. That's the thing. Honestly, I'm really a person who believes in, like, if you put something out there, just as like energy or whatever it is, or if you believe in God, if you have an intention that's pure and that is genuine, whatever it means, it will come. It will happen. You will be, and you actively put yourself in the spaces. You read the signs. You see the signs that are being put in front of you. You can genuinely and you act upon them. You can get to where you need to get to, and you'll meet those people, those links. Just because you don't see immediate value in quote with the person that you meet at this networking event now, you will never know what you can gain from that person. It may be a friend, it may be a life lesson, it may be a connection with someone else. It doesn't matter, bro. Just putting yourself out there. For me, like, I came from an instance that, of course, I'm from London, but this is home, but I left for a bit and then I came back. So I came from a space of, I don't care about embarrassment. I don't care about getting rejected. If I see someone, I see value in them and I feel like I want to connect with them, I'll reach out. I'm never afraid to do that, bro. I don't mind if I see, for example, let's say if I like, that's what we talked about earlier about using social media as a tool and not letting social media use you as a tool. Because I see these pages, like socials like Instagram, Snapchat, all this kind of stuff as vehicles to drive your dream or your goal. Exactly. So if you utilize them and use them appropriately in able to get you to where you need to get to, it's possible, bro. You can find that. You know what I mean? Just putting yourself out there and being, I see that you work in marketing, for example. Oh, like, how do you get into that? Do you mind exchanging like some details and maybe you can meet up for coffee sometime? Maybe they may not see value in that now, but just planting that seed in the beginning, showing love to their stuff, reaching out to them, maybe going to where these, as you said rightly, so going to these places where you will find these people doing similar stuff, these networking events. You will never know who you can find from there, bro. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm an artist manager and right now I'm managing 2 artists, and I get a lot of DMs or people reaching out saying, oh, can you help me manage, or can you help manage me? Can you, give me some whatever? Yeah. And I'm always like, I can give you some advice. I can give you some opportunities. Like, I don't have to manage you to do that. Like, I am so open when it comes to the opportunities that I've been able to find or whatever, and give it to as many people as possible, because why not, bro? Why not? Why not? Why am I gonna hold someone down or prevent them or like be greedy and keep all the shit to myself? Like, I don't see the value in that. I don't see the value in that at all. Something you kind of touched on as well is the idea of using social media as a tool. We talked about this. And it takes a little bit of willpower and a little bit of like, I want to actually level up to get to this point. But when you realize how much we spend on social media, we realize that it is now become this like second world. You know what I mean? There's the real world and the social media world. And that world is growing and growing and growing. More people are spending more time in that digital space. So, and these companies like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter and all of that, they're all with the pretense of, it's free, we can just jump on it.
what you're actually paying with is your time,
Yeah.
your attention. You know what I mean?
Your mental health.
Your mental health.
Yeah.
And all of that is something that you can't, get back.
Yeah.
Especially your time.
Yeah.
You can't get it back.
Mm.
So that's what you're paying for. And it's like, like you said, instead of just being this passive, because bro, we're all consumers, we're all buying shit, but there's a difference. And I think what social media has done is it has turned us into passive consumers.
Yeah, passive consumers.
We are just taking it in with like without even questioning, what we're seeing and shit.
That's the thing.
But what I like that you said is being able to switch that, switch it up, and to use it as a tool, use it as a way to, meet creatives, to, advance your career, to push a more positive narrative out there. And I think that's so important, because a lot of people, they look at Insta and they see that people are living their lives and, living this lavish lifestyle.
Highlight reels.
Exactly. And they just get caught up in that. They get caught up without understanding that some girl or some guy posts up, a pic with like some brand new watch on or whatever.
Bro, you didn't know what had to get to that point, bro.
They didn't realize that, that person didn't pay for that watch.
That's
He's
rented,
not that
bro.
rich. It's all rented,
bro. It's all a front, bro.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Or some guy reached out like, yo, put on this watch, advertise my shop. You know what I mean? Like it's all a game, and you are the pawn. You are the person that they're trying to target. The fact that you're jealous, that's what they want. They want you to.
There was even a point like when, like, sorry to cut you off, like in regards to, because rightly so, like we were talking about earlier, trying to unfollow or like, to shape your algorithm for your socials, your feed on things that you actually want to see. There was a point where I was doing that, but then I was seeing people making their small wins. Like, for example, like, seeing maybe someone in the industry, maybe getting a promotion or working at this place or that place, and I'll be grateful. I'll be gassed for them. I have no bad blood in my anywhere. I'll be happy to see, black people, to see ethnic people doing their thing from ends. So, but it's like, how about me? What happened to my time? I'm gassed for them, but when is my time gonna shine? I've been putting in the work as well. How do I get to that point? But you always have to realize that, bro, there's a divine time. Everyone has their own time and their own journey we need to get to. It may not be that their story may not be yours. You don't know what they did. You don't know how long they worked for that. You know what I mean? So trusting that there's a process, just trusting the process is the most important thing. That it's hard to say, easy to say, but it's hard to implement. But I'm trying to get to that point.
No, I'm with you, because we spoke off air about how the journey that it took for us to get to this point. You know, me working at McDonald's or working at Primark.
I was in prep, bruv. I was working in prep, fam.
Exactly.
And I'm doing waitering now.
For all. And like I'm doing these, 9-to-5 jobs, and in my mind, like I'm not even there. Like in my mind, I'm envisioning all the shit that I'm trying to do. I'm envisioning the businesses. I'm literally envisioning me being on stage and doing this stuff that I'm doing right now. And like to a T, like I'm saying it, bro.
Yeah, man.
And in those moments, like it's hard to be like defeated, because you see a lot of people who are maybe levels ahead of you, and they're like, man, I want to be there. It's not like you said, there's no hate towards it, or
there's no malice.
It's just you're waiting for your turn. And what I had to do is, like, I'm a religious guy, and just give it all. Take the control out of my hands and give it to God.
Absolutely, same, rightly so.
Because bro, like, we are just humans. Like, there's nothing.
That's the thing, like, bro. We're just specks on this earth, bro.
Exactly. We can't control nothing, and but when you give it up to higher power, it frees you to just do you. It frees you to understand that I'm gonna be okay. It frees you that my journey is not defined by what someone else is putting on socials.
Exactly.
My journey is unique to myself. And that's something that's powerful, man. That's powerful, because in this industry, it is hard. And I know people who give up because of that. Bro. They give up. They have the talent and stuff, but they give up because of that.
That's another thing, bro.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, so the other day I went for this. So there's this event called The Future Is. It's like a panel network event. They basically, it's by this guy called Travis. He's like an A&R manager, really nice guy. He basically does a thing where with Box Parks, where he brings like a panel of different guests based on the industry. Whether I know you know a lot about it, but last week was music production. So he brought like a few really big respected producers that I like, like the TSBs, the Quincy Tellums, a lot of really respectable people. And I asked a question. I was like, because I have this predicament where I'm meeting artists, for example, that I'm trying to work with, that I see the talent in them, but they don't see the talent in themselves. So how can I want something more than you want it for yourself? That doesn't make no sense. So I'm like, so I asked them, how do you deal with that? And Quincy, M. Honcho's producer, who I really admire and I really look up to, he said, bro, if they don't want it for themselves, there's no point in you wanting it for them. Because at the end of the day, you have your own life to deal with. You can do as much as you can. You can try and put them in the places, trying to talk to them, trying to advise them, trying to be there and their supportive person. But if they're not taking onto that, and not seeing the value in you doing that and appreciating that, you're wasting your time. You know what I mean? You can't do that. So I really resonated with that when he said that.
No, it's so true because like I'm a manager, so I deal with that. Like that's like 40% of
how do you do that? How do you do that? On a practical level, how do you like... How can you want it more than the other person? That's why for me, I'm a very blunt person sometimes. I'm really passionate about this, and if you see people are not passionate about it, there's no point in even me bothering. How do you deal with that?
I would say this: I'm very blessed and very lucky that the artists that I am working with, and that's why I'm selective with the artists I work with. Like,
you can select it, absolutely.
I only work with artists that I feel that connection to, that I feel the hunger and I feel the passion. I've worked with 2 artists for about 6 years now. Just these 2 artists, developing them. Like, I would say 3 of those years was the early years of just like not really doing it properly, but kind of figuring things out. And then 3 years of proper going for it. During that time, we have been like, we all went to uni, so being separated and stuff. But we were able to keep that motivation and that will and that vision that we had. That, and I'm truly blessed to have that because it's something that we have that trust.
Absolutely.
So I already know that he's gonna do, like, my producer's gonna continue to work, the rapper's gonna continue to work and continue to make music. However, there are moments where it's like I see this could be a time to break, this could be a time to push, this could be a time to like make some moves, and in my mind, I'm there. I'm already there. I'm like, let's do it. I'm just going to build this guy and be like, he's going to be on it.
Exactly.
I bail him and he's like...
Because you're the person who, you know how to connect the dots.
Exactly. I call him up and he's like, oh man, he's just not on it. The energy's not there. And I'm like, bro, But
opportunity waits for no man, bro.
And that's why, as a manager, I think it's also important that you kind of have your own shit that you're doing. And you're building your own kind of legacy and you're building your own kind of... growth.
Absolutely.
Because there will be times where your artists are not going to be right there, and if you care about the artist, then you have more grace when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
Like, I understand you might be doing...
They are people, they are friends.
Exactly. So you have more grace.
Life happens, life gets in the way of things, but
you can't be stagnant. That's just thing. Because they might want to hold back or whatever, that doesn't give you an excuse to hold back as well. You can't be stagnant. Make some more moves. Look at, it's the creative in it. Like, being creative is being able to like have a problem and see multiple solutions.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's what being a creative is. So if your artist isn't, focused or isn't doing the things that you want, be creative. Figure out how you can make moves, how you can elevate themselves, so they can even like my manager's doing this and that. Bro,
why can't I?
Exactly. Let me push up. That's what I found, bro.
I think that's a privilege in itself for your artist to have you as a manager who sees the world like that. Because like for me, it's a thing where, rightly so, what you said in regards to being creative, it's not a linear thing. You can be creative in many different aspects. Like for me, everything stems down from 2 things: my love of music and my love of people. So how do I marry these 2 together and make it fund my life? Okay, cool. So production, I got into that. Then I realized that I have a voice. I like speaking about things. I got into a little bit of radio. I used to make a podcast on my SoundCloud. I used to do that every week. I went to uni. I did a uni radio for a bit. Then I came to London. I did intern at different stations. Just putting myself in the places that I know people that are similar or like-minded to me are in.
Exactly.
Just doing that. And yes, there's a lot of, what are you doing here? There's a lot of, you should be doing this. Or there's a lot of, you're not, who are you? But bro, I don't see none of that. For me, I'm just so tunnel vision in where I need to get to. Like, if you're trying to really build an empire or for yourself in regards to what you're doing, especially in regards in this country, who we are, the backgrounds we come from, you need to be vigorous and be unapologetic when you need to do, bro. So that's the thing.
If you're a young G, if you're like 16 or whatever, you're creative. You need to be at Box Park because they have so many creative opportunities. You need to set up, bro. Sort out your socials. Make it so that all you see are opportunities, creative opportunities, and network and be out there. As we end this episode of the Grind and Ghost podcast, I want to thank you, Sadiq, for coming through, man.
Pleasure,
It's
man.
been a pleasure, man. It's been so great talking to you, picking your mind, learning about your journey, and hearing your thoughts on this creative industry that we're both in, man.
Yeah, man. No, it's a privilege in itself. You know, I mean, like meeting someone who's on the same wavelength, a young guy who's hungry, who's visionary. Yeah, he has a passion, of course. You know, what I mean, and just being able to just grow from there, bro. So I appreciate it for letting me on here. I appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot.
No worries. And where can people find you?
Oh, so literally all social medias, Instagram in particular, Sadiq the Honest. That's Sadiq the Honest or STH. You can find me there on SoundCloud as well, on Spotify. But if you want to reach out to me, show love, of course, that's on Instagram in particular. That's blessed. Yeah,
remember, guys, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. You can follow me at culture_drip_ on Insta. And yeah, we'll see you next week or whenever the next episode comes out. But again, man. Sadiq, blessed.
Pleasure, man. Appreciate that, man.
Love.